first start by saying to the entire General Assembly, congratulations on an outstanding session. Today, we celebrate the journey that brought us here. The stakeholder meetings, the drafting process, the committee hearings, the floor debates, and the many, many conversations with me and my team. And I want to first start by thanking the best legislative office in Maryland's history. You all are outstanding. And I want to take a special moment and a moment of pleasure to thank the best chief legislative officer that any governor could ever ask for, Eric Hooper. And also I want to thank our speaker for allowing your former majority leader to come work for the administration. But we know that today doesn't belong to a single administration or to a single office. Today belongs to all of us. We would not be here if it were not for two of the most remarkable constitutional officers that this state could possibly ask for, Senate President Bill Ferguson and Speaker of the House Adrian Jones. We would not be here if it were not for them and their floor leaders, for their committee chairs, for all of their members who made sure that the legislative process continued to keep moving. And we wouldn't be here if it weren't for all the activists and the advocates and the people who traveled to and from Annapolis from all over the state over the past 90 days to not just make sure that their voices were heard, but to make sure that the voices of people who they were advocating for were heard. So to every Marylander who contributed to the last 90 days, you have my deepest gratitude. Our system endures because of you. And make no mistake, in this moment, our system was tested. 2 weeks ago today, a container ship collided with the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Today and every day, we are thinking about and praying for the 6 victims of the Key Bridge collapse and also their families. They are in our hearts, they're in our thoughts, and they're in our prayers. Están en nuestros corazones, nuestros pensamientos, y nuestras oraciones. But the people of Maryland rallied. The members of the General Assembly rallied. Our federal partners rallied. I just came from Capitol Hill just now with a meeting with our congressional delegation and with members of the Biden-Harris administration. And there we had the opportunity to stress bipartisanship, to stress federal support inside this moment. We had a chance to stand with every single member of the Maryland delegation, from the 1st Congressional District, Andy Harris, to the 8th Congressional District of Jamie Raskin. Democrats and Republicans collectively standing together and saying that in this moment, Maryland's going to do its part. But we have to understand what happened 2 weeks ago was not a Maryland catastrophe. This was a national catastrophe. And today, I will proudly sign the Port Act into law. This legislation will support the businesses and the workers that have been affected by this collapse, and I personally want to thank President Ferguson and Delegate Clippinger not only for their stewardship of this bill, but also for partnering with our administration in the process. Your leadership is deeply appreciated, and we thank you so much. And among the many provisions that our administration helped to craft, this bill will create a new permanent scholarship program for the families of transportation workers who've died on the job. This legislation will also allow for more flexibility in work search requirements for unemployment insurance. And the legislation will empower our administration to stay nimble in our response in the collapse. Even though session is now over, it does not mean that Maryland's response will cease. The PORT Act is part of a broader effort to uplift the hardworking people of the state of Maryland and provide them with the support that they deserve. To all the members of the General Assembly, Senator Stallings, great to see you. Senator Hedelman, thank you. Senator Kagan, thank you. To the members of our local leadership, Mayor Scott, we could not be here without you, sir. To all, to everybody who understood that this was a moment when we were going to show what it meant to be Maryland tough and Baltimore strong, and to do it collectively. And today, I am honored, as I am every day, to be joined by my partner in the work, our Lieutenant Governor, Aruna Miller. Last year, she chaired a special committee tasked with supporting our road workers following the 695 crash that took the lives of 6 Marylanders. And together, her team crafted and worked to help introduce HB 513. It proposes an expansion of speed cameras in work zones across the states, and in a few moments, I am very proud I will sign this into law. Thank you so much, Madam Attorney General. And today we're joined by Kim Simmons, whose husband and son died in the 695 crash. Your strength, your advocacy, your push, your heart, and your humanity, your ability to turn pain into purpose, your work is literally going to save lives. And we as a state are forever indebted and grateful to you. God bless you, Kim, and thank you so much. Thank you. Now, the PORT Act and HB 513 are very different bills, but they share something in common. Both are bills that pass with bipartisan support. Both are bills that pass with not just Democrats and not just Republicans, but pass with both Democrats and Republicans standing together and saying this is the right and the human thing to do. Because in Maryland, we don't just talk partnerships. We move in partnership. It's part of who we are. It's part of what makes this state special. And it's the reason, and another illustration of that I'm grateful to be joined here today by one of my predecessors, Republican Governor Bob Ehrlich. Come on out, Governor Ehrlich. He's hiding back there, but in case you can't see him, that's him right there, too. I was never that young. Governor Ehrlich is here to celebrate the passage of legislation to permanently rename the Port of Baltimore after his mentor, Helen Bentley. Now, that bill also passed on a bipartisan basis. Many other bills I will sign today got votes from both Democrats and Republicans. Our administration has introduced 26 bills since I've been sworn in as the governor of this state, and today I am proud to say that we have gone 26 for 26 with votes from both Democrats and Republicans on every single bill that this administration has introduced and gotten passed since we've been sworn in. But going 26 for 26 bipartisan isn't just our win. This is Maryland's win. This is the state's win. Because in a moment when political vitriol and political divisiveness seems to just be by default, at a moment when people seem to care more where did the idea come from than is it a good idea, we in Maryland, we've just chosen to move differently. And it's the reason we're able to work together, that we're able to get the big things done, and the reason that we're able to work together is because we can agree on common principles. At the start of this session, our administration said that we would pursue 4 main priorities. We were going to work together to make Maryland safer. We were going to work together to make Maryland more affordable. We were going to work together to make Maryland more competitive. And we were going to work together to make Maryland the state that serves. And we've advanced on all 4 of those priorities this session. And before I finish my remarks, I want to discuss just one more of them. In a few minutes, I will sign 4 bills that advance our administration's service agenda. In the military, we have a mantra. And that mantra is mission first, people always. Mission first, people always. And that philosophy is at the heart of these 4 bills. The Caring for Public Employees and Safety Act will expand current protections for firefighters to cover thyroid, colon, and ovarian cancer. Now, it's also called the CAPES Act because our legislative team is very good at acronyms. I want to thank our leaders at IAFF for their partnership on this bill. This would not happen had it not been for our leaders at IAFF. Bless you and thank you so much. Mission first, people always. The Family Serve Act will create stronger pathways to employment for military spouses working in the public and the private sector. And I want to thank both our Lieutenant Governor and also our First Lady, who's joining us today, who helped to lead the charge on this bill. Mission first, people always. The Election Workers Protection Act will address the epidemic of threats and harassment targeting election officials. And I want to thank our remarkable state administrator of elections, Jared Demarinis, who has been, yes. And also I've heard is a great pickleball player too. Who's been a key partner in getting this bill across the finish line. Jared, thank you for being mission first and people always. The Time to Serve Act doubles as military leave to state employees who serve in the National Guard or our military reserves. Mission first, people always. And I want to end by talking about the person who helped to shape the Time to Serve Act. His name is Command Sergeant Major Patrick Metzger. He's a veteran of the Marine Corps, even though we're not going to hold that against him. A 26-year veteran of the Maryland State Police and currently serves with the Maryland National Guard. This is a person who's devoted his life to us, who's devoted his life to family, to community, to God, and to country. He spoke in my office last year to highlight a challenge that many have overlooked. The Marylanders who juggle military duties and state jobs often have to use their PTO to meet their obligation to the armed forces. So instead of using their PTO for the well-deserved time off, they were using their PTO to serve. No, Command Sergeant Major Metzger worked with Secretary Woods and Major General Burkhead to craft legislation to solve this issue. And their work, their tireless work, their selfless work, resulted in the Time to Serve Act, an act that I will proudly sign into law in just a few minutes. Because of their work, we are making "thank you for your service" actually mean something and put real weight behind it. And I tell this story because it speaks to the amount of partnership that goes into moments like today. These ceremonies just do not happen. Bills just don't get passed. Laws just don't change. Change doesn't just happen. Change is made to happen. And today is an illustration of people who helped to make it happen. So, Command Sergeant Major Metzger, I want to thank you for making this state better. And I want to present to you a ceremonial first pin. And I want you to know that I'm giving this to you on behalf of 6.3 million people, because your work has just made our state better. God bless you, Sergeant Major. Thank you. Mission first, people always. And now, I'm proud to turn the podium over to my partner in this work, Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller.
Well, all I can say is it's always hard to follow Governor Moore after speaking, right? Only to be followed by a day where we had sine die to celebrate, a total eclipse of the sun, and then Mayor Scott's birthday, right? This is it. The first bill signing day can only top that. So good afternoon, everyone. And, Governor Moore, thank you so much. It's great to be here with all of you. And I also want to thank Madam Speaker and congratulate you and Senate President Ferguson on another successful session and for your continued service to the state of Maryland. Governor Moore, thank you for your unwavering dedication to support those who seek to serve our state and for your efforts to ensuring their safety. Madam First Lady, thank you for your partnership in proclaiming 2024 as the Year of the Military Families. As fellow military spouses, I was honored to champion alongside you the Family Serve Act, which ensures economic security for all military spouses in the state of Maryland. And so today we stand in solidarity to show our support to those who serve our state, including the men and women who work on our infrastructure. Last March, Marylanders stood with broken hearts from the work zone crash on 695, in which 6 highway workers' lives tragically ended in a moment, but their families' lives altered forever. The men and women in the construction industry place themselves in harm's way every day on the front line of service. We saw it happen on March 22nd, 2023, and we saw it happen again on March 26th, 2024. It's a moral imperative that we protect road workers who provide critical service, public service for all of us. This is how we make Maryland a state that serves. Governor Moore created the Work Zone Safety Group to explore ways in which our highway construction workers could be better protected and institute a culture change in Maryland's motorists. I'm grateful for the time, expertise, and recommendations provided by the many who served in this group who are here today as well, including construction workers who share their thoughts and ideas on how we could make their lives safer. The passage of House Bill 513, the Maryland Road Workers Protection Act, is a critical step to making sure safer driving in work zones, and it will lead to safer driving everywhere. And I too want to recognize Kim Simmons. As you heard earlier from the governor, Kim lost her husband and her son in the 695 crash. May your husband, Milan Simmons II, and your son, Milan Simmons III, rest in peace, and peace be with you and your family. I speak on behalf of all Marylanders, Kim, when I say thank you for taking this heartbreaking loss and transforming it into a force of good to protect all roadway workers in the future. Thank you. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce Senate President Bill Ferguson.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am so pleased to be here with my colleagues from the Senate, with my partner, Speaker Jones, members of the House of Delegates, the Lieutenant Governor, and the Governor in this incredibly important moment in time. Last night, when the balloons had fallen and we had finished this 446th legislative session, I was asked, what did I think? What did we accomplish? And it came pretty naturally because I think it was the absolute truth. This session, we responded to the moment and we protected Maryland's futures. That's what we did. We did it in the midst of a crisis, and thank you, Mr. Governor, Mr. Mayor, for your leadership over these last 14 days. I will never forget the moment at about 7:30 in the morning, standing on the banks, looking out at what once was the Key Bridge. And in those moments, you sort of have two options. You can either shut down, wallow, be fearful, scared for the future, or you can act. And what I saw over the last 2 weeks and had the honor to do with my colleague, Luke Clippinger, with my colleague, Senator Salling, with the Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Mayor Scott, Speaker Jones, all of the members of the General Assembly, our federal partners, was act and prepare to help people in need and build back stronger. It is in these moments that the things that really matter come to light. And so while we did some remarkable work this year, the last 13 days really proved what this General Assembly is about. When things matter, when things are tough, we may have different ideas, but we get around a table, we hash them out, and we get the work done on behalf of Marylanders. That is truly what this session was. There are a number of issues, from housing security to making sure that our neighborhoods are safer, that we're getting real accountability and support to young people and their families, making sure that we are protecting consumers, be it through when they buy tickets online or they are using any online service for their own data privacy. At every point of the way, what guided us this session was to respond in the moment of challenge and protect our future. I'm not going to go too long because we have a lot of work here to do to sign the bills to get them done. I do have to finish with a bit of levity, though. The governor said that he had the best legislative team in Annapolis. What he meant was the best executive legislative team in Annapolis. And he does have a wonderful team, don't get me wrong. But I know that Sally, Jody, and Ross from my team are here as well, and this work doesn't happen individually, especially in the legislature. It is a team sport, and to my staff, I want to say thank you so much. To the Secretary of the Senate's office, we cannot do this without you. It is absolutely instrumental. I am so deeply thankful for your work. We get the honor and privilege of representing 6.5 million Marylanders, and that is a duty that we cannot continue and succeed with unless we have incredible people around us, our staff and other members. It is truly, truly an honor, and it is my privilege to introduce the partner in this work. After 5 years, we've gotten to know the ups and downs in every way around. We've led through a pandemic, through an active shooter, through elections and through the collapse of a bridge and through all of it, I think that we can say that we have led our chambers to the best of our abilities, and hopefully Marylanders are proud. So with that, Speaker Jones.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm not going to repeat all the people that they told that you were here because you know they're here. So I'm going to go into something else. This year, we've worked together to take the first steps to secure Maryland's financial future. We have passed a budget that funds the blueprint through 2027 and makes critical investments in Maryland's transportation system to ensure that we don't see catastrophic cuts to roads, bridges, buses, transit, airports, and the port. This year, we worked together to pass meaningful juvenile justice legislation. Legislation that puts rehabilitation front and center while strengthening the oversight and accountability for DJS to make sure children are treated fairly and held accountable to their treatment plans. And this year, we worked together to ensure that those impacted by the collapse of the Key Bridge can get the assistance they need. I'm proud of what we've done, proud that we found ways to work together on these issues, and I look forward to putting my signature on these bills. With that, as my trademark ending is, let's get these bills signed.
House Bill 1526, Senate Bill 1188, Maryland Protecting Opportunities in Regional Trade, Court Act.
Senate Bill 1188, you are looking great. Thank you very much. Good? Yes, sir. Okay, thank you all.
House Bill 375, Senate Bill 156, Port of Baltimore, renaming. 5, Senate Bill 156, Port of Baltimore renaming.
Senate Bill 156, you looking great there? Super, thank you very much, everyone. Okay. Next.
Senate Bill 478, Family Serve Act of 2024.
No problem. Senate Bill 478, looking great. Thank you very much. Next bill, please.
Thank you all so much.
House Bill 55, Senate Bill 88, Maryland Commission on Veterans and Military Families.
I gotta get on a knee to get
House Bill 55, looking alive.
Hang on, there's Bill 55.
Oh, we got more? If we can have them come over on the far side, that'd be better. There you go. House Bill 55. Thank you very much. You all look amazing. Next, please.
Senate Bill 411, House Bill 431, Department of Veterans Affairs, renaming and Deputy Secretary of Military Family Policy and Programs.
House Bill 431, right here. Thank you very much. You look fabulous. Most appreciated.
House Bill 646, Senate Bill 108, Income Tax Subtraction Modification, Police, Auxiliary, and Reserve Volunteers.
House Bill 646 and Senate Bill 108, right here, please. Perfect. Thank you very much, everyone.
House Bill 584, Senate Bill 476, Caring for Public Employees and Safety Professionals, CAPES Act.
House Bill 584, right here. Thank you very much. Next bill, please.
House Bill 513, Motor Vehicles, Work Zone Speed Control Systems Revisions, Maryland Road Worker Protection Act of 2024.
People want to take line, you're fine. People want to take line up front here? If we have to slip back just a little bit, please. Behind the tape line, please. Thank you very much. Behind the tape line. Thank you very much. 513, you guys are looking amazing. Thank you very much. Awesome. We're done.
Thank you all very much.
Senate Bill 628, House Bill 819, Senate Finance, Catastrophic Event Account, and Federal Government Shutdown Employee Assistance Loan Fund, non-civilian federal employees. Senate Bill 628, House Bill 819, Senate Finance, Catastrophic Event Account, and Federal Government Shutdown Employee Assistant Loan Fund, non-civilian federal employees.
House Bill 628, you guys are looking great. Thank you very, very much. You're awesome. All right, folks.
Are you ready?
628, you're done, right?
Senate Bill 480, House Bill 585, Protecting Election Officials, Act of 2024.
I was like, where are you? You Senator?
We can get all the folks back and all the way down. All the way down. We have a big group.
Folks, if you're here for the Protecting Election Officials Act, and squeeze in, we have a very large group here for this. We're going to squeeze in as much as we can. We may need to do 2 shots for this bill, okay?
Make sure that the landslide stops here.
I love your dress.
Make sure you go all the way down, folks. All the way down.
They're going to do 2 shots.
Okay, folks, we're going to do a second shot, so don't worry, okay?
This is where the shot stops. Or you can go further in, how you want.
House Bill Senate Bill 480, House Bill 585. Right here, please, and thank you. You guys are awesome. Next one, please.
This could be a
Same bill.
second photo, right?
Thank you all very much for coming.
Well, there'll be a second one coming up behind you.
There's a trash can right there now if you'd like to get it out. Keep coming, keep coming. Yeah, they're going to do 2 lines.
Okay, we're good. Joe, we're good.
Yes, right. Go. 585. Senate 480. Right here, please, and thank you. You guys look fabulous. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you all.
Senate Bill 707, House Bill 1026, Armed Forces, Support of Military Families, and Addition of Space Force.
Well, that's how you. I said, we'll find the general.
Is that next? Senate Bill 707, House Bill 1026, Armed Forces, Support of Military Families, and Addition of Space Force.
Senate Bill 707. You guys in a little bit tighter on that side? Thank you very much. And we'll look right here at this camera, 707. Secretary of State, there we go. Great, 1, 2, 3. And in the interest of Dylan. Arnold, right here, please.
Are you ready, Melissa? House Bill 112, Senate Bill 291, Persons Doing Business, Disclosure Requirements. House Bill 112, Senate Bill 291, Persons Doing Public Business, Disclosure Requirements. Senate Bill 183, House Bill 342, State Procurement, Prompt Payment of Suppliers. I hire you at my bar.
183. Look at me, right here. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
House Bill 418, Senate Bill 459, Grant Applications and Reporting, Maryland Efficient Grant Application Council, alterations. Is that just you? House Bill 146, Senate Bill 221, Health Occupations Boards, Reciprocal Licensure and Certification. House Bill 215, Senate Bill 226, Human Services, Attendant Care Program, ongoing additional supports.
Senate Bill 226. Thank you very much. You guys are looking fabulous.
House Bill 60, Rehabilitation Services, Disability Definition.
House Bill 60. Here. Thank you very, very much. You guys are awesome.
House Bill 662, Large Family Child Care Homes and Child Care Centers, Child Care Teachers Minimum Age.
House Bill 662. Thank you very, very much. Next bill.
House Bill 678, Public Higher Education, Communities of Interest, Targeted Recruitment, and Outreach Efforts.
House Bill 678. Thank you very, very much. Next.
House Bill 580, Senate Bill 477, Time to Serve Act of 2024.
Thank you very, very much, everyone. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1048, Senate Bill 212, Behavioral Health Advisory Council and Commission on Behavioral Health Care, Treatment, and Access, alterations.
Do I bring it up?
Great, perfect. Thank you very, very much. Next.
House Bill 760, Office of Legislative Audits, Local School Systems, report.
Bill 760.
House Bill 380, Senate Bill 374, State Emergency Medical Services Board, licensees and certificates, application requirements. House Bill, House Bill 628, Senate Bill 409, Health Occupations, Clinical Marriage and Family Therapist, Reciprocal Licensing Requirements. No, she doesn't.
Can't take it home without talking to Tucker. 409, right here. Looking great. Thank you very, very much, everyone.
House Bill 1521, Maryland Children's Health Program, Eligibility and Administration.
House Bill 1521, 1521. Thank you very much. You guys are amazing.
Senate Bill 219, Senior Prescription Drug Assistance Program, Sunset Extension.
Senate Bill 219, right here, please. Thank you very, very much. You guys are fabulous. Thank you.
Senate Bill 222, State Board of Environmental Health Specialist, Quorum, Examination, and Apprenticeships.
Senate Bill 222, one for you. Thank you very much. You guys look amazing.
House Bill 144, Senate Bill 232, Public Employee Relations Act, alteration.
Thank you very much. You guys look fabulous. Appreciate it.
Senate Bill 341, House Bill 390, Commission on African American History and Culture, Museum Name Change. House Bill 634, Senate Bill 444, Maryland Longitudinal Data System Center, Student Information, United States Census Bureau. House Bill 1211, Senate Bill 366, Employees and Teachers Retirement Pension Systems, Reemployment of Retirees.
Senate Bill 366. Thank you very much. You guys are perfect. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1487, Maryland Entertainment Council, alterations.
Bill 1487, right here. Thank you very much. You guys are fabulous.
House Bill 26, Senate Bill 215, Small Minority and Women-Owned Businesses Account, alterations.
Senate Bill 215. Perfect. Thank you very much. Next bill, please.
Senate Bill 209, Economic Development, Maryland Economic Development Commission, alterations.
Senate Bill 209. 225. Thank you very much.
Senate Bill 214, Maryland Military Installation Council, membership.
Bill 214. Thank you very, very much.
House Bill 229, Senate Bill 254, vehicle laws, Maryland Vehicle Insurance Companies, requirements.
Much better. Thank you very much. 229. Fine. Thank you very much.
Senate Bill 216, workers' compensation, failure to insure, penalties. Senate Bill 283, homeowners property tax credit application, attestation of gross income.
283. Thank you very much. Next bill, please.
Senate Bill 268, Chesapeake and Atlantic Coastal Bays Critical Area Program Enforcement.
Day to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Secretary. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, sir. 268, please. Looking fabulous. Thank you very much, everyone. Next bill, please.
House Bill 45, Senate Bill 284, Natural Resources, Sale, Barter, or Exchange of Mounted Specimens from Decedent's Estate.
House Bill 45. Gotcha. Thank you very much.
House Bill 235, Senate Bill 253, Department of Natural Resources, Pay for Success Contracts, Procurement Exemption.
235. Looking great. Thank you very much. Next bill, please.
Senate Bill 274, House Bill 17, Charter Counties, Comprehensive Plans, Affirmatively Furthering Fair Housing.
That's a mess.
All right. House Bill 17, right here, please. Fabulous. You guys are good. Next bill, please.
Senate Bill 295, Department of Planning, Inventory Responsibilities.
And Bill 295. You guys got this down. Next bill, please. Another bill, okay. They got 4 bills behind it.
House
295, we got it.
House Bill 284, Senate Bill 122, Education, Provision of Maryland Youth Crisis Hotline, Telephone Number, Alteration.
This is for you. You guys are fabulous. Thank you very much. Next bill, please.
House Bill 386, Senate Bill 425, Maryland Meals for Achievement in Classroom Breakfast Program, Alterations, Maryland Meals for Achievement Flexibility Act of 2024.
House Bill 386. Here, please. Thank you very much. You guys are fabulous. Thank you. Next bill, please.
House Bill 225, Senate Bill 309, Sustainable Growth Subcabinet and Repeal of the Office of Smart Growth.
House Bill 225. Taken. Madam Speaker. I love that beautiful face. You gotta keep her there.
Ready? Senate Bill 310, Department of Planning, State Repository and Clearinghouse for Federal and State Financial and Technical Assistance.
Senate Bill 310, quick photo there. Thank you very much. We're good. Next bill, please.
House Bill 123, Senate Bill 260, Division of Parole and Probation, Criteria for Earned Compliance Credit, Exception for Supervision Fees.
Senate Bill 260, right here, please. Thank you very much. Next bill, please.
House Bill 222, Senate Bill 251, Correctional Services, Division of Pretrial Detention and Services Facilities.
Senate Bill 251 right here, please, and thank you. You guys are fabulous. Next bill, please.
Senate Bill 273, State and Local Correctional Facilities, Operation of Unmanned Aircraft, Image Recording and Delivery of Contraband.
Perfect. 273 right here, please. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. Next bill, please.
House Bill 386, Senate Bill 425, Maryland Meals for Achievement in Classroom Breakfast Program, alterations. We already did that one, didn't we?
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Senate Bill 224, Cemeteries, Burial Transit Permits, Required Information.
Senate Bill 224 right here, please, and thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. Next bill, please.
Senate Bill 297, State Board for Professional Engineers, Engineer Members, Qualifications.
297. Perfect. Thank you. Next bill, please.
Senate Bill 298, State Board of Electricians, Licensing Penalties.
Still got 298 up there. You're doing it. Next bill, please.
House Bill 251, Unemployment Insurance, Covered Employment, Employees of Governmental Entities or Charitable, Educational, or Religious Organizations.
Right here, please, and thank you. You guys look awesome. Next bill, please.
House Bill 197, Senate Bill 234, Unemployment Insurance, Work Search Requirement, Exemption for federal civilian employees during a federal government shutdown.
197 right here, please, and thank you. Perfect. Thank you very much. Next bill, please.
House Bill 244, Maryland Occupational Safety and Health Act, Civil Penalties, Alterations.
You guys are on a roll. Thank you. 244. Next bill, please.
House Bill 231, Senate Bill 275, Vehicle Laws, Special Registration Plates, Gold Star, and Next of Kin Families.
231 right here, please, and thank you. You guys look fabulous. Next bill, please.
I don't have any more. I believe that was the last one.